One pretty common question that I get as a third-time mom, but a second-time mom to a baby from infancy up, is what is essential for a newborn? What do I need to bring baby home? What are the bare minimums? What is nice to have? What do I need to have? I want to go through some of those today and some of my favorite things to use for a baby. We have three sons. Our oldest son is 21. We have two other sons. We have a 4-year-old and a 2-month-old. So I have kind of tried some different products. I have stuff that works, stuff that does not work. So I thought I would share some of my personal favorite products and the things that I think are necessities, and then things that are nice to have once you get home with a baby. Babies just really do not need a lot. They do not require a lot. We just like to make it expensive. We want our babies to have the best. But the thing is, our babies they need just a few basic things, honestly. And I have notes down here. I've tried to make notes so I don't forget anything. So forgive me for kind of looking down. So I want to start with just like the obvious things that I feel you 100% have to bring a baby home. Number one, if you are formula feeding, you will obviously need formula and bottles. As far as bottles, I would recommend just buying one of a couple different brands. I would not go buy a full pack. You do not know what your baby's going to like. Babies do have bottle preferences and pacifier preferences. If you have a shower, you will probably get a couple of different kinds. I would try those first. With Lucas, we use the Nook bottles. They're one of the cheaper bottles. They're not like the cheapest, but they're one of the cheaper brands. We use just plain Nook bottles, and they work great with him. With Tatum, we use Nook Naturals, and I will be showing those when I do my feeding category. I have breastfed both boys. Lucas was exclusively breastfed until 6 months, and then we combo fed until 7, and then we formula fed from 7 to 12. With Tatum, he was exclusively fed until 2 months, and then just this week we have introduced some formula because I'm underproducing breast milk. Either way, I think it's nice to have some bottles on hand. That way, if you have to use formula or if you want to pump and feed from a bottle, you can do that. So bottles are 100% necessity if you are formula fed at least. Next, diapers. Total necessity. Wipes. Total necessity. A car seat. You cannot leave the hospital without one. You have to have a car seat. Sleepers. Or like outfits. I think sleepers are the easiest, but baby has to have something to wear. And then a safe sleep space. Be it a crib, a bassinet, pack and play, and they have to have somewhere to sleep. So those are absolute necessary items. Now I want to kind of break down necessities and my favorite baby products into categories, and I will go through all of my favorite products there. Hopefully I don't forget anything. If you have questions about anything, feel free to shoot me a message. First category I'm going to do is the feeding category. That your baby has to be fed. That's like number one. Can't skip that. Has to be fed. So if you are formula feeding, make sure you have bottles and your formula, of course. This is a bottle set I bought with Tatum. I found a really killer deal on them on Amazon. Otherwise, I would not have bought like a full set, but I got this entire set, and thankfully, Tatum loves them and does really well. So I'll probably pick some more of these up, as well as try him on Luke's old Nook bottles. But these are the Nook Simply Naturals newborn gift set. It comes with 2 small bottles, 2 big bottles, the nipples, 3 passies, and then a couple of fast flow replacement bottles. I got this entire set on Amazon for I think $7 when I was pregnant with Tatum. I actually picked 2 of them up because I thought if he doesn't like them, it would be great to pass the set on to a friend to try because they were just such a good deal. The Nook Naturals, the reason I bought these, not only because they're a killer deal, but they mimic breastfeeding. So the nipple is supposed to be more breast-like, and they actually have to work to get some things out because instead of having one hole, it has multiple holes like the breast. So it kind of comes out like breast milk versus just the one big squirt like a typical bottle. So I like that. I thought they would be cool to try, so I did pick up the set since it it was on a good deal. These, I think, are a really good option to try if you are breastfeeding and supplementing, or if you want to feed breast milk from a bottle but still nurse, or even if you're not breastfeeding at all. There are so many different bottles out there. I'm telling you, my recommendation would be to just try the cheap ones. Try the cheap ones. If your baby doesn't like it, you can always get one, Tommy Tippy, one Dr. Brown, one of this, and just try until you find what your baby likes, and it's going to work best for them. The next thing that is really helpful are bibs. This is one of my favorites. I don't know where it came from because we've had them. This was one of Luke's bibs, and we have a few of them. And I know you can't tell it on camera, but they are like not really a dry fit material, but kind of a plasticky material. So whatever hits it just kind of falls off. It doesn't stain, they've not faded. It has a little pocket to catch any crumbs. These are some of my favorites. They're a good size. He used them. Luke used them until he was even a toddler. So Tatum could use them now, could use them in toddlerhood. These are probably a little bit big for a newborn, but I mean the hole is small enough that it would work. It is adjustable on the back, so it would work just fine. But you can find like these really small, like teeny tiny newborn bibs. I would not even buy those. They are a waste. They do not catch anything. Invest in like a decent sized bib. Invest in several of them, because especially if you bottle feed exclusively, you're going to go through a lot of them. I find I don't need them as much when he nurses. Next thing, burp cloths. I have used so many burp cloths. I have an entire bin full of burp cloths back here. With Lucas, I actually used a lot of receiving blankets as burp cloths because they were just so much bigger, as opposed to like these tiny little burp cloths that you could buy. But I've tried a lot of different kinds, a lot of different sizes, and these are by far my favorite. I will try to link the products that I can find a link for in the description box. And I'm pretty sure that I can find these because I bought these when I was pregnant. These are muslin burp cloths. They are stretchy, well, a little stretchy. They are super, super soft, but I love that they're white. You can throw in and bleach them. They're super soft for baby, and they are such a good size. They're just super, super soft, super durable, and they are not a bad price. The rest of these feeding supplies are going to be breastfeeding specific, things that I use only when I'm breastfeeding. The next thing I would advise for breastfeeding mama would be nipple cream. I use just the Lacinol lanolin that they give at the hospital, that my hospital gives, and you can purchase it for like $6 or $7 at Walmart, and it lasts. I never went through a full tube with Lucas because really you only need it like the first few weeks when you're just sore and cracked. Now I will say I had a lot more soreness and cracking and issues with Lucas than I did with Tatum. I've only used the cream a handful of times with Tatum, but it is nice to have on hand, especially for those first few weeks of breastfeeding. Another thing I would advise, or that is helpful for me, is to have a nursing cover. I'm more comfortable when I'm covered when we're out and about. I don't cover when I'm at home or when we're at relatives' house just because I'm comfortable there. But when we are out and about, I take a nursing cover. This stays in my diaper bag. I never get it out of the diaper bag because I just use it when we are out. There's several different designs, several different price points you can hit with a nursing cover. I put several on my registry this time, and I got one, and it's like elastic all around my neck and just kind of flows, and it's super buttery soft. Hate it. Because I need to be able to see my baby, and Tatum is such a fussy nurser that he will not hold his latch. So when I hold him, I also have to hold the breast to help him feed, and I can't like pull it out and look down. I have no hands. So it's literally, I can't pull it out and help him latch. I can't pull it out and check on him while he's feeding or anything. So I chucked that nursing cover really quick. But I went to Walmart. I bought a $10 cover. Love it. It's just black and white. They had this and they had solid black at my Walmart. It's just this huge pocket fabric. It actually has a little bitty pocket that it will fold up into in the back, but I never do that. I just fold it and throw it in my bag. And it has the neckline, and it has an adjuster. So this is super nice. You can adjust it to tuck up and cover a lot, or to be down where you're a little more comfortable. So I just throw it over and I kind of throw it to the side I'm nursing on, but the best part about this cover is it has a flexible neckline. So this is what I recommend when you look for a nursing cover, because you will still have great coverage since this is adjustable. You can even take this out if you like it to lay flat against you if your child isn't such a fussy nurser. This is removable. So you can remove it so it lays flat against your chest. But I personally like that. That way when I'm feeding, it just peeps out just enough to where I can get down and see my baby and help him latch on. So this is just a parent's choice. It was like $10 at Walmart, super cheap. Next, I would recommend nursing tanks and nursing bras. I did not bring any in here with me. My mother-in-law bought me nursing tanks with both pregnancies. This pregnancy, I really like the tanks that she bought me because they weren't super fitted. Now I have one from Lucas, and it is super fitted, and I like it to wear under. Because when I go places, I double cover. I wear a cami and then I wear a top over it, and then I do the two-shirt method. So I'll pull my top shirt up and the cami's under, and then I can nurse and then be pretty covered. But I also use a cover when I'm out. For the first few weeks, when Tatum was a baby and also when Lucas was a baby, I just wore a nursing cami and pajama pants around the house because it was comfortable. It was easy to just unlatch and latch them on. Now I also like to have some nursing bras on hand, but I typically just kind of wear the camis, but I'll wear the bras like around the house. But camis when I go out because my belly's covered when I go to nurse. Another thing I would recommend is a pumping bra. If you are going to pump at any point, or plan to pump at any point, invest in a pumping bra. I got mine for $20 on Amazon when I was pregnant. It's great. You just hook everything up and you can just pump hands free. Another thing I would recommend is obviously a breast pump. Insurances do provide breast pumps. I think they provide like one a year. So I got one with Lucas and I got a new one with Tatum. With Lucas, I used the Medela in Style and I did like it, but this time I wanted to try something different. So I tried the Spectra S2 and I have really enjoyed that pump. I have no complaints with either of them. Definitely a quality pump. Check with your insurance on how to go about getting one for free, because I got that one totally free with insurance. I would advise having some extra bottles, breast milk bottles on hand. So my pump came with 2 bottles that fit the attachments. And then I went on Amazon. I actually bought an off-brand pack of bottles. They're like the 6-ounce bottles with lids. They're just breast milk storage bottles, and they turn right onto the attachments. I can put straight into them and then cover them and put them in the fridge. And I just do that every time I pump. I'll usually combine the 2 I pump, put them in the fridge, and then when I get to a certain ounce, I will freeze it. And then right now, I just get to a certain ounce and put it over into a bottle that he can eat from. Also, some freezer bags. These are my favorite. They're the Lasanol breast milk storage bags. They are not super expensive. I buy them on Amazon. When I first had Tatum, I was freezing a lot of milk, and now mine has just kind of depleted out. But I still use them. I have never had these leak on me, bust on me, as I was freezing milk flat and then steaming it up to store. It makes it a lot easier. But the Lasanol breast milk storage bags are my favorite. I haven't even opened this, as you can see. A breast milk cooler bag. You can buy name brands of these. Medela sells them. You can buy fancy ones and everything. I just bought this at Walmart for like $10. It is the bag, and it has an ice pack inside of it, so you freeze the ice pack, and this holds like 4 5-ounce bottles. Now, with Lucas, I did a lot of like pumping when we were gone, and I had an entire pumping bag. My pump, my cooler, everything. So I would pump, put it in the cooler, and then when I got home, I could transfer it to the fridge. So that's what I use this for. Or like if I needed to take milk to grandma's house to watch him, I would put it in this to get to her house. I haven't even opened this time because we're in the middle of a coronavirus pandemic, and I haven't had a need to be away or to transport a lot of breast milk, so I haven't really got a lot of use out of it. And another thing with pumping, I would recommend these Medela Quick Clean Wipes. I bought these to throw in my pumping bag, because when you're out and you're in a car and you're pumping and then you're done, your parts have milk all over them, and you have no way to clean them unless you just like wipe them with a paper towel. But this one is so much more sanitary. They are made to clean breast pumps, breast shields, and accessories. So I thought this would be great for the bag. So when I was done pumping, I could just wipe everything down and just tuck it in the bag, and everything will be nice and clean and hygienic for the baby. So that is great if you're breastfeeding as well. Another thing that I really like, not only for breastfeeding, but for like propping baby, and like, heck, I even lay on this thing. So I know that the boppy is super popular. I do not like the boppy. Does not work well for me. Never has. I have one and I don't use it. But you cannot buy what I have anymore. This is an old style boppy. It is a kidney bean boppy. It looks super rough. It is just a boppy shaped like a kidney bean. This part is like fatter, and this part is thin. It just kind of wraps around you like this. It doesn't even have a cover on it. Guys, this is an old, discontinued kidney bean shaped boppy. I don't know if you can find them on like eBay or something maybe, or find one secondhand from a friend. I've had this since I had Lucas. I bought it secondhand from a friend when I was nursing him, and this is one of my most used items with a baby. Not only use it with a baby, but I use it to just lounge on the couch and lay on. So kidney bean boppy, if you can find something like that, that's great. Let's talk about diaper changes. So diaper changes, pretty basic. You need diapers and wipes. Sometimes your baby needs a little extra love and will need rash cream. My personal preferences on diapers for babies that are newborn up through like size 1 diapers are Pampers Swaddlers. The reason I like these, they have the pee line, which I find very, very helpful when they are super tiny and you just can't always tell if they have peed. Once they're a little bigger, you can pretty much tell, but sometimes when they're little, you're just not really sure. And Lucas, he was super picky. Like, even if he was just a little bit wet, he wanted to be changed. After size 1, I'm not really diaper picky. I really do like Lowe's just for the value, and they work fine, and they actually have a pee line now too. We got several at the shower that I'll just go through and try and see if what I like the best. But for right now, we're mostly using Pampers Swaddlers. They're just so soft. We haven't had any kind of reactions, thankfully. These have worked really well for us. I would highly recommend it, especially in the first few months. Wipes, not wipe picky at all. I usually pick up the Walmart brand wipes because they're a frugal buy. They are not expensive. I buy a 3-pack at Walmart, and it'll last for a little bit. I do like wipes in an individual container. I don't like to buy the boxes of them and put them in a wipe warmer or move them over. It's just aggravating to me. I don't like it, so I do buy individually packaged wipes. But I typically buy the Walmart brand. I like the snap on it. It comes off really easily. The wipes feel really good. They come out easily. They work great. Never had any reactions. But I'm out of those right now. I have the Huggies Natural Care. I bought these on Amazon. I bought a huge box of them when the coronavirus started because I was down to just a few packs of wipes, and I was afraid we were going to be out. So I bought the Huggies Natural Care. No complaints. My only complaint with Huggies wipes, their topper is hard. Now it's not going to do it. It's difficult to unlatch one-handed. Like, if you're just reaching over and grabbing and do this, you really have to yank on it sometimes. That's one of Brandon's pet peeves. He gets really angry when it does that. So that's my only complaint. So I look for that, but I also look for how easily the wipes come out. And to me, Huggies is one of the easiest. They come out really easily. A lot of times you will pull one wipe and you get like 5, and you have to be yanking and going on, and Brandon hates that, and so do I. So I really like these Huggies. I just wish that latch came up a little easier, but it's nice that it doesn't, so they stay good and still, so they don't dry out. So this will be definitely one of my top wipes after the Parents' Choice brand, the Huggies Natural Care. And these are sensitive. They're safe for sensitive skin. Next, a rash cream. My favorite is Bordeaux's Butt Paste. I don't have any of that in here right now. I also really like the Desitin. I have the Maximum Strength. Thankfully, neither of my boys have had huge issues with diaper rash. If your baby does have issues and these don't work, I have heard good things about Aquaphor. There's some kind of like cow's paste out there that I've heard moms use that's really good. And then there's like prescription paste. And then I have heard of moms using paste and then layering with cornstarch powder to keep things dry too. But thankfully the Bordeaux or Desitin has always worked well for it. My next category that I want to talk about is the bath category. I actually don't have any of my products in here, but we were gifted a baby bathtub with a net in it. I will try to link that. I know it came from Amazon. It's super nice. Love it with the net. Great for a newborn. And then it'll be great when he's too big for the net to just sit him up in. And then baby wash and baby lotion. We use a lot of Johnson & Johnson, especially the nighttime lotions and washes if we're doing a bedtime bath. Otherwise, we'll just kind of use the basic. Now with Lucas, he was really sensitive. He had eczema. We used the Aveeno wash and lotion, and then there is an eczema like overnight cream that we used as well. One thing the doctor did tell us for his eczema is to wash him in a plain white Dove bar of soap. So we did that a lot. We limited his baths. We used white Dove to wash him in, Aveeno lotion, and then like the overnight cream at night, and that really helped with his eczema. Tatum hasn't really shown any sensitivities yet, so we just stick with a lot of the Johnson & Johnson products, and we were gifted a lot of those. So we're just kind of working our way through those right now. As medicines go, now there's not a lot that they can take, especially as a brand new newborn, but some things I recommend having on hand are infant Tylenol, baby Tylenol. They can take it by their weight. Ask your pediatrician. Ours gave us like a weight chart and a dosage chart, so that's been really helpful. We didn't give it to Tatum until he was 2 months old, so I'm not sure how young they can take it, but we do keep that on hand. I know they cannot have ibuprofen until they're 6 months, so I would definitely advise Tylenol being kept on hand. Gas drops we did use a few times for Tatum, but I don't think that was really his issue, so they didn't help a ton, but I know a lot of babies need those. And then something that has helped us has been gripe water. There are several different brands. We usually buy the Mommy's Bliss brand. We get it at Walmart. You can buy it on Amazon. Tatum went through like a really colicky episode. We actually found out that he has a dairy allergy, and so the medicine wasn't really helping him, but it was kind of masking the symptoms a little bit. But now that we've got the dairy cut out, when he is really fussy, the gripe water usually helps calm him down. And it's just kind of a help when you really don't know what's going on. So we buy the off-brand infant Tylenol, and then this is the gripe water that we use. A lot of these come with the basic syringes to pull it out. I would advise getting a medical syringe dropper. These just go in a lot more gently. They're a lot easier to administer. I found the ones that you pull out and push go really fast. Sometimes you can't control it, so it chokes them or it runs down their neck. And so I really like the little medical dropper. A thermometer. There's all kinds of different kinds. I have heard that the mouth thermometers used rectally are the most accurate, especially for little babies, but I hate to do that unless I absolutely have to. I have used the forehead monitors, and I just don't like them. I have a hard time getting a reading on them, so we use an ear thermometer. This is a Braun brand. This was actually gifted to us when Lucas was a baby, and it's worked great. It's still working great. It's really quick and easy. It has the ear guards that you can buy to replace. I usually just leave the same one on for a while, but you just press the power. It comes on, it will beep, and then you put it in your ear, press it, and it takes it back quick, and then you can see right there. And then another thing, like when I turn this off, when I turn it back on the next time, it will give me the last temperature reading. That way, if it's the middle of the night and you're tracking temperatures through the night, you can see what the last temperature was compared to the one you're getting ready to take. I think a thermometer is a must-have, something you definitely don't want to skimp on because you want to watch their fevers, especially when they're little. Another thing, this is kind of a grooming thing, but it came in like a medicine kit, is baby clippers. I even use these for Lucas now, but these are great. They're not really safety clippers, like they're just typical, but they're just smaller for their little fingernails. and I like the gripper that they have on them. And my last thing I have in the medicine and sickness category is the nose Brita. Some people think these are gross. The grossness factor does not bother me. Never has. But when we first got one, when Lucas was little, I was like, that is such a waste of money, because these are like 15 or 16 bucks. I can use a bulb and suck out the snot just as easily. And then I got one, and I don't think I was using it properly because it wasn't really drawing out a lot, and I was like, this is such a waste of money. It is not a waste of money. How this works, especially, okay, we used this on Lucas until he could blow his nose, and I mean, he was like a couple years old before he could blow his nose. So, I would highly recommend these. It comes apart, it has the tube, and then it has a filter, and then it has the suction tube, and the part you suck. So how it works, you put this part in baby's nose, and then you suck. So you're essentially sucking the snot out of their nose, which people are like, ugh. Listen, the snot has never gone higher than this on me. It has never hit that filter. My secret for using this though, I kind of swirl it as I pull the snot out. I don't just leave it stuck there. I started kind of swirling it, and it works a lot better that way. So this is definitely a baby must-have in my book. Let's talk clothing. We all love the cute little baby outfits and all the frills, especially if you have a little girl, which I've never had. But let's just talk practicality for a minute. When you bring them home, get them some sleepers. Get them with the zipper, because nobody wants to be buttoning at 3 a.m. when you're, one eye open and everything. Get them with the zippers. And my favorite kind are the ones that zip bottom to top and have the snap that covers it. These are my personal favorites. With the little feet. Don't get the ones that have no feet. They have no purpose. Now, the new trend, which I have learned with Tatum, I had a hard time finding ones that zip from bottom to top. They now make ones that zip top to bottom. It's called an inverted zipper. So it still has the cover, but the zipper starts down here. And the point being, number one, this is not in their face. And number two, you can just unzip them, pull their little bottoms out, change them, and zip them back down without having to undo the entire thing. I just don't like it. I don't like how it snaps. I don't like the concept. I'm not an inverted zipper fan. Some mamas may love these. I do not. I prefer zip bottom to top. So sleepers, and I would recommend a lot of sleepers because I don't take my kids out in sleepers typically, but around the house we go through several sleepers a day. So we definitely have got use out of sleepers with both boys. Next, I would recommend little hand mittens. We actually did not even use these with Tatum. I was so bad I never pulled them out. We could probably start using them now. They have no arm control. They like to scratch their face and everything. So these are great to cover their little nails and their little hands. And also some sleepers have them built in. Like this one has them built in. So look for the sleepers with the built-in mittens. Those are super cute and functional. Another thing, baby hats. Doesn't matter if your baby is born in winter or in summer, they need a little hat because they lose so much heat from their ears. I would recommend it at least like the first month, even if they're inside. I really like the soft cotton baby hats. I got a couple of packs from Amazon this time around, and I really like those. Baby socks. I layer these under sleepers. Obviously use them for outfits when we go out too. My favorite ones that I have found for a newborn and a little bitty baby are Gerber. They're at Walmart. I'm not sure how much they are a pack. I hadn't paid attention. These are little Gerber socks. They are tight. They stay on. I've never had one fall off. They work so good. Another thing that a lot of moms will say is essential, but I don't really use them, is onesies. I got a ton of onesies when Lucas was a baby, and I never hardly used them. But a lot of people will use them under outfits or like to layer up their outfits. We don't do that. We'll just kind of throw on another blanket. So that's not something we use, but may be essential to some. Next, so let's talk about sleep. Something that is definitely important is having a very safe sleep space for your baby, regardless of what that is. A crib, a pack and play, a bassinet are usually the three big options. We personally have all three and have with both little boys. The reason that I have three, bassinet would be my newborn essential. I've used it from the day the boys have come home. They're beside my bed. Lucas was in it for the first 6 months. I anticipate Tatum will be also. I just like they're right there. And I got just a cheap one from Target, so I will link that below. It's like no frills, has like music and a light, but other than that, not a lot of frills, really basic, and I really enjoy it. So that is our newborn sleep space. Now I like a pack and play for travel, but what I use a pack and play more for is in my living room. I use it as a changing table and kind of a catch-all for all of the baby stuff. So that would be my recommendation for a pack and play. If you need something that's just versatile and to move like from one house to another, pack and play is the way to go. I would definitely advise spending the money on a pack and play that has the full bassinet and changer. Okay, the next category that I wrote down was the soother category. I'm going to kind of do it and then go into some of just like my favorite in general products. So for soothing, to kind of go along with sleep, would be a swaddle. There are a million different swaddles out there. Lucas hated them, refused them from the day he was born, wouldn't even swaddle in the hospital. Awful. Tatum loves them, will not sleep without it. He has a swaddle me dream, a dream with me swaddle or something. It was like $30. He uses it for nighttime, but then at night I still wrap him in a swaddle. I use Swaddle Me Velcro swaddles. You can buy them on Amazon, you can buy them on Target. It's pretty much just a sack, you wrap it, there you go. Now some people are really good with like muslin swaddles, and they can swaddle them up in the style, not me. Go for the Velcro. I think these are like $10 or $12 a piece. They have them in 2 different sizes. Another thing that we use to soothe him is a sound machine. Lucas has one and still uses it. We've had the same one since he was born, and he still uses and asks for his sound machine at night. And Tatum also uses a sound machine as well. Another thing we really like, most mamas do, is the passy. I would advise the same thing on passes as I do bottles. Buy one, try it, see what your kids like. So if they're not doing well, try another one. We started with a couple of cheap ones. Tatum really didn't do great with them. So we use these. I can't remember if they're Dr. Brown's or if they're Mann's or I don't know. They're a brand. I'll try to link them below. But he does really well with these, even with breastfeeding. He was a little bit nipple confused in the beginning. We introduced the passy pretty early with him because I didn't want him to just be miserable. I tried to push that off with Lucas, but we ended up having to get him one too. He did great with like the cheap ones from Dollar General. Tatum has to have, he's a little more high maintenance on passies. These aren't super expensive, but they are more expensive than just like the Mickey passies we bought at the dollar store. But just try the cheap ones. If they don't like it, just keep trying. And you may get some of these at your shower too to try, which is what we did. To go along with that, a passy clip. Now, a lot of people, I know I like it when he's bigger to like clip to his clothes when we're out and about, but because of the pandemic, we haven't really been out and about a whole lot, so we don't use this a whole lot. We don't use it at home, but I do use it when he's in the car seat. And my mama trick is I wrap it, so this attaches to the passy, and then I actually clip this to his seatbelt, like up here. So when I'm driving and he's crying and lost his passy, I can reach back and go by the belt line and fish the passy to be able to put back in his mouth. So that's why these are so important to us. Another thing I would recommend to make life easier is a baby carrier, especially if this is not baby number 1, but it's baby number 2 or more, and you're going to have to keep up with a toddler, so which is our case. I actually splurged and bought a Tula, but I'm so thankful I bought it secondhand because I do not like it. I don't know if I will like it better when Tatum is bigger, but I'm just not a Tula fan. So if you're a Tula mama, let me know what you think about it, and am I doing something wrong? I just really don't like it at this point with Tatum. We had a cheap Walmart brand Infantino carrier when Lucas was a baby. I cannot find it now, and I'm getting ready to reorder it because I really liked it for him. It worked really well for us. It was like $30. So I'm going to reorder one of those and try it with Tatum. Okay, lastly, a couple of just random things I would kind of recommend. A swing of some sort. We actually borrowed a swing, like a traditional swing, from a friend to try and see if Tatum likes it because we never had one with Lucas. Brandon's parents splurged and bought us a Mama-Roo when Lucas was born. He hated it. Tatum does not care for it very much, so Mama-Roo's the best around here. So we are going to try a traditional swing, but I would advise something, Mama-Roo, swing, something with movement where you can just kind of lay them down and take a breather if they're really fussy, or wings can really help a fussy baby. They've not really helped our fussy babies, but I would definitely recommend having somewhere to just kind of lay them down that's going to soothe them. One of our boys' favorite has been the rock and plays, and these are actually discontinued now. You can't buy them, so you would have to get one secondhand. They are not a safe sleep space, but they are great to like lay them in. It cuddles them. You can rock them, and it kind of soothes them. That has been both of our little boys' favorites. So rock and plays, our newborn must-have. Talk about the pack and play. That will be not essential unless you're going to use it totally as a sleep space, but it's super, super, super handy. And even when they get older, Lucas actually still slept in his pack and play at the hotel in December when he was 4 years old. He has totally outgrown it now, but he did sleep in it while we traveled up until that point. Another thing our boys have really liked to help soothe them is a bouncy seat. We actually have a bouncer that matches our rock and play, but the bouncer we actually keep in the dining room now. So we'll put Tatum in it and bounce him like while we eat. I'll put him in the kitchen and bounce him sometimes. He kind of likes it because there's things he can look at. Lucas always liked it. It's just really cuddly and kind of the movement. It's really helped with both of our boys. So I really personally like the bouncer for my kids. I would recommend baby monitors. We had a Summer's Eve baby monitor for Lucas. Really liked it. It's been discontinued now, but we still use it for him. And for our baby shower, we were gifted with a 2-camera baby monitor system that was on our registry. We have not even hooked it up yet, but I love the concept of it. It had great reviews, so I'm hoping that that will work really well so we can keep an eye on Tatum when he goes to his nursery as well as Lucas. Another thing that we were gifted, this is not essential, but this is super nice to have, is a play mat of some kind. Tatum is big enough now, we do tummy time, we kind of get on the floor and play with him, and it's nice to have one space that's just his. I have his down here, but there's his. It's a baby time mat. We were gifted this at our baby shower, and I love it, and so does Tatum, so I'd highly recommend it. Alright, I think that does it for all of my newborn essentials and my favorite items. If you have any questions, just shoot me a message or leave them in the comments, and I will get back to those.